got it. So the 39 Ford, here it is in its original state. And here it is transformed. This is just absolutely immaculate. As I was just telling Lauren, we're going to have a chat with her in a minute, but I mean, I've been walking around. I have not seen all the trucks, but so far, this is my favorite. I'm loving everything about this, everything about it. Lauren, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. And as I said, I absolutely love your truck. You know, we're going to...
My favorite too.
It's your favorite too?
Yeah, so that was they did the chrome and stainless on it.
I bet it was his favorite. Okay, before we get into the beautiful pickup that you've got here, tell me about yourself, Lauren, and your love of trucks, and not just trucks, classic trucks.
Oh, yeah. So my name's Lauren. I'm 36 years old. I'm from Pennsylvania. My dad and I, we came down to the Rod Run in Pigeon Forge probably about 10 years ago, and I always wanted an old truck, but I never knew what I wanted.
Okay.
And then we saw one of these here at the Rod Run 10 years ago, but I hate to say it, it was a piece of junk. It was rusted, but what I fell in love with was the grill, the oval grill on the 38 and 39. So we looked for a long time. I wasn't even actively looking for a truck at the time, but I got on Facebook Marketplace, and it said, available near you. You searched for this before. And there was one 20 minutes from my house.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was 10 years ago?
No, that was in January of 21 that I purchased it.
Wow. Okay. Absolutely loving this. So you were wanting this more than 10 years ago?
Yes.
And you finally found it a year ago?
Yeah. Well, a little over a year ago, January of 21.
Either way, I'm so happy for you for starters.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you got to find exactly what you were looking for, and I have to agree with you that oval grill is an eye catcher. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you got it, and it was an absolute restoration project.
Yes. Yep.
Now, let's first talk about the color.
Okay.
Did you know exactly this is the color you wanted?
I did not. So actually, my dad and I, we came to this show last year. I hadn't had my paint color picked out yet. I knew I wanted teal, but I was having a lot of trouble finding the exact one that I wanted. I would get paint samples from online, and it wasn't what it looked like, on the computer. So we came last year, and there was a truck painted this color outside, and that's whenever I decided.
It's so eye-catching. So many people have been stopping to have a look at it.
Yeah.
Now, what engine have you got inside that?
It's a 351 Windsor.
351 Windsor. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go inside and have a look around here. But other than that, from what I can tell, is you've kept the entire body line the same.
Yes.
Because that's what you like.
Yes, everything. The only thing that's not 38, 39 on it is actually the bed.
Okay.
It's a 42 to 47 bed because the truck is sitting on a F-150 frame, which is a lot bigger than what these trucks originally sat on, so that created a lot of spacing issues. So we did have to go with the bigger bed on it. So that
But it's going to drive better for you.
What's that?
But it's going to drive better for you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the seat is out of an early 90s Dodge minivan. Third row seat.
The third row seat.
The third row seat out of an early Dodge minivan, yes.
I love the bench seats. I'm guessing you like the bench seats. That's
Well,
why you
there's
had
not a
them.
lot of room in there. There's like only, I can't remember the exact, because I wanted to put bucket seats in there with the center console, but there was just not enough room.
No.
So I just decided just to go with the bench.
Well, I'm glad you didn't, because by not doing it, you've kept such a clean look on the inside here. A nice clean dash as well. It's not too busy.
Yeah.
And because this is a smaller cab, but then you've got so much happening on the outside with the chrome and the grills, you've kept it nice and simple. It looks good.
Thank you.
It looks really good. So why do you like the trucks? I know you said you liked them, and
Yeah, I think because my mom works steady 3 to 11 shifts, so I spend a lot of time with Dad in the evenings, and he's a big gearhead, so I think just growing up,
he's
around
influenced you.
cars and trucks, and it's just, it's something I grew up with.
and what does Mom have to say about that?
Oh, she's fine. Just got the phone with her, actually.
Nice, and I'm loving the storage here.
Yeah, so this actually is not storage.
Okay.
So I have a fuel cell, and that's where battery is.
Isn't that interesting, everyone? Look at that. It looks so flashy. Very nice, because originally...
And that was custom made, this box.
Yep, custom made. Now, because it was in the behind the seat, originally the fuel?
So the fuel would have been, yes, over on that side underneath.
Yeah.
And I believe the battery was originally under the seat.
Okay. This is very nice. And do you take it to shows, or do you drive it around?
So
as
it
well?
just got finished up January of this year. The paint and body person brought it right from his shop to the show in Pittsburgh in January. And then we're from Pennsylvania, so it was still snowing. So it sat in the garage for a few months. So it was really, just getting it out now.
So it's fair to say, Lauren, that during those times when it was snowing outside, you were just sitting inside the cab in the garage.
waiting for the snow to melt.
That would have been hard.
Yeah.
Especially when it looks this good, right? Ah, this is awesome. I don't know about you guys, but I'm loving the look of this. Just everything just complements each other. Everything, like the grills on the side here complement that oval grill. It's beautiful. I wish you all the best. This is definitely a stunner, so I'm sure the judges are going to be stopping by to have a look at this.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Absolutely beautiful olive green 56 F100.
Yes.
Bill, it's immaculate. You've got so many people stopping by and having a look. The interior looks good. The paint job, you were not too keen on it in the beginning. Tell me about that.
I was not keen on green. My wife decided it was going to be green. And so once she decided, it was all about leveraging green to something I could handle. And I'm a 30-year Army vet, so I said, we'll make an Army tribute truck, and that's how it came to be what it is.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you've got the US Army star just here. Just want to show everyone. Green is a hard color. It's a difficult color to get it right, to make it look this good.
Right.
And especially if you're going to be doing
Well, let me
some
show you
kind of a
another feature.
graphics. Yeah, show me.
A lot of people don't pick up on this graphic, but it means a lot to me. It's the POWMIA symbol. And my wife and I met in the country of Laos when I was doing this mission. I was doing the POWMIA recovery mission.
Wow.
Repatriating remains for lost in Vietnam. And so I had to make that part of the truck. It's all about the little nuances that make it special and pay tribute to all the great Americans it served. So
That is amazing. I love that, Bill. This is a truck like this. It looks like an absolute show car, but then you've got personalized touches.
we try. I'll show you a couple more.
I would love to see that.
Normally this will say custom cab, but we changed that to say Army Strong. And then on the interior, I served in a lot of units in the Army, but I went to war with the 1st Armored Division, so it was just incorporating those small touches that personalize the build, but so, and I guess that's what you do when it's your truck and you can build it how you want, right?
You can build it exactly how you want. So tell us, Bill, about the build. How long have you had your 56 for?
I bought the truck as a beater back, I guess 5 years ago, and drove it for a couple of years in its old state, and then we just finished the build about 8 months ago, and it's about a 2.5 year effort.
And were you looking for a 56?
I was not. I was actually having a 70 Mach 1 Pro Street built in Tennessee, and where I was having it built, I saw this sitting along a fence line covered in dirt and dust, and I inquired and was fortunate enough to buy it, and And then, like I said, I drove it for a couple years in that state, and then
And it
we
was still
decided
drivable when you got it.
oh yeah, it was. Everything was old and original on it, and I drove it for 2 years.
Wow.
And then decided we were gonna do the build, and that's when it, you know, kind of evolved to what it is today.
And it all started with the color.
That's what brought it together. Is we knew conceptually what we wanted the truck to look like. I'm old school, so I wanted big tires, big motor. You know, I wanted it to look beefy. But when it came to the color, my wife made that decision for me, and of course, as I said, I'm not a green lover, but I'm an Army lover, and so that's how it became Army Green.
It looks good. It stands out. I have not seen one. I've seen some green trucks, but this olive green, you pulled it off so well, especially with the cream on the inside. And then the bed. Come over here, sir.
The bed is it's Paduke wood, and it's in its natural state's that color. We just you had to clear coat it,
Oh,
and of
wow.
course we put this in again with utility in mind. We were able to get to the gas tank without draining fuel in the bed, but also when you spend as much time and effort doing the undercarriage of the truck,
You need to show it
this
off.
is a way to give somebody an idea of what it's about. So, you know, polished stainless exhaust and powder coated frame, and you know,
That's beautiful.
it's a technique that works well for us.
I like that you've got that. Is that just a pop-up? The
No,
panel that comes up?
that's on an electric solenoid. So I can, when I turn the power on, hit the button, it articulates. It opens and closes. So
I never thought about that, about having fuel drippings around
Well,
it, because
yeah,
so many
yeah.
of them are on the centers.
yeah,
in the middle.
and I'm not the tidiest person in the world. So when it comes to filling, habitually I would get fuel on the bed, and I said,
Oh, I do the same thing.
hey, so this way I can either with a 5-gallon can or open a tailgate, I can put gas in it and not worry about that. And then also, like I said, it's a twofer. You can see a little bit underneath, and that's, you know, when people are here wanting to see what it's all about, that just makes it that much easier. So,
Absolutely. Loving the double exhaust that's coming back here. Now, is this period correct, 56?
No, I'm always been a Shelby Mustang fanatic, and the old Shelbys had these tail lights on it, and we crafted those to mimic Shelby. The bed and fenders in total, from outside fender to outside fender, are 9 inches wider than a standard 56.
Okay.
And we did that for a couple reasons. To accommodate the big tires under it, I didn't want huge.
Fender sticking out?
Yeah, I didn't want it wasn't so much the fender. We widened the fenders, but I didn't want wheel tubs that were meeting in the middle.
Okay, yep.
So
these are
when you
smaller.
look underneath, you can see they're huge tires, but they fit so well.
Oh, wow. What is the size of this, Bill?
Those are I think they're 31, 30, 18s, and they're the biggest street tire that Mickey Thompson makes. So, and that's what I said. I'm old school. I wanted big tires, big motor, and
We're going to have a look at the engine compartment in a minute. Like I said, the interior here is just flawless. And I love the headliner with the...
well, a guy named Alan Carswell in Taylorsville, North Carolina, he designed the interior for me. We're old battle buddies, and by day he works on a number of exotics. You know, the Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Bentleys.
So it's got
And
that
so-
luxury touch to it.
Yeah, so he knew what right looked like, and I trusted him with the quality. I knew what I was going to get when he was done, and he just knocked it out of the park from my perspective. So
And the handles are door
those
hoppers?
those are Kindig.
Kindig, yep.
Yeah, and I didn't want to go overboard shaving drip rails and chopping it. So, but we did want to do the handle delete, so we went with the Kendig, and it worked out well.
It looks good. Now, sir, are we able to have a look at the engine? All right, what is happening here?
This is a big block Ford. It's a 460 cubic inch engine that's been bored to 512 cubic inches. And we put Edelbrock Performer aluminum heads, a fast EFI system on it. It's got a comp cam, and it's pushing right at 700 horsepower.
Wow.
So plenty enough horsepower to get me down the road.
Oh, you think? Wow, it's absolutely beautiful. A big block like that sits just beautifully with nothing else around it. Clean firewall, the inner fenders, everything is just...
Well, every facet, you want to try to make it where it stands alone. If you were able to see underneath, you would see that underneath it is as gorgeous as it is looking here.
Next time you have to bring some mirrors.
Well, I'm thinking about it, but I'm kind of new to this show business stuff.
Okay.
So, but no, that was the intent. Is we wanted a truck that if you saw it at a distance and you liked it, the closer you get, the more you see. We didn't want to be in your face or ostentatious with any of the emblems or. So that is what we've been hoping for. People show up, they like it. The closer they get, the more they see, the more they see, the more they like. And if we make people happy, then that for us is a win.
You've made me happy. I absolutely love it.
Well,
Loving
thank you so
everything in
much.
this. Love the fact that your wife has had so much of a say in this as well, and the personalized touches.
Well, she's my battle buddy. What she says goes, and we've enjoyed it.
I appreciate it, Bill. Thank you.
Like the has we kept this original lights on it, but they're LEDs.
All right. Hold on a second, Mark. Loving it. 1954 F100.
Correct.
Beautiful color. It's not exactly red.
No, it's amethyst red, which is a 2013 Porsche color and newer, is what this color on this truck is.
Porsche color, a Mustang engine.
Right, 289.
A few modifications done to these. Let's start with the basics, Mark. How long have you had your 54 for?
Actually, not long ago. We own a shop, and it actually was a customer of mine.
Okay.
He had a family crisis, and then we ended up buying it back from him. So we started building it. This build took us about 8 months to do.
8 months. And you said it was a full frame-off restoration.
Correct.
How bad was the condition?
We just started with a frame and the cab.
That's big.
Yeah, everything else has been redone.
You had your work cut out for you.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, you were telling me about the headlights.
Yeah, the headlights are LEDs, but they're same style, which is the bubble style, which would have been basically on their regular trucks. One thing that we did do we deleted the lights up here in the front, and we actually put underneath here different little lights on there that will actually work as running lights and signal lights.
Oh, nice. Signal lights. Mm-hmm. So how would we be able to see it if it's under the headlight?
It's bright enough because they're LED lights.
So you can actually see it flashing.
Correct.
When it's on. Okay.
Yep. On it. And again, here, so you can really get the grill's really.
As I'm learning about my F100s, this is cool to know that the 54 has got the fangs and the 53 has got the teeth. Now it's the grills that I'm talking about, everybody. So as you can see here, the two fangs at the front signifies that it's a 1954 F100. Absolutely beautiful. Now, not only is this all classic, but looking great on the interior, and it drives like a modern day car, but the engine is a classic as well.
Correct.
Tell us about that.
Again, the engine is off a 1966 Ford Mustang. It's a 289 hypo motor, rebuilt. Does have a fuel injection system in it, poly fuel injection, so makes a modern HEI on it. We did put the billet specialty suspension serpentine system on it, as well as the Mustang 2 disc brakes all the way, the Willwood disc brakes on it.
Nice. What is these here, Mark, I'm looking
These
at?
are horns.
They're horns, okay.
They're actually the horns. We painted the horns to match the truck
Nice.
on it. So everything, this truck everything's been repainted on it.
Very nice. And you know, before we got into the truck, and one of the things that I admired, and it's such a simple thing that comes with the truck, I'm told, is the
stripping.
the stripping. Yeah, the leather stripping that is here. And I've seen trucks where they don't have that at all. Gives it a clean finish. But for me, this caught my attention because it follows it on over the back fender, and then right here at the front as well, almost giving it a fine pinstriping look from a distance.
Right.
Looks nice.
Thank you.
And that's what the trucks actually came with. That's cool to
Yes.
know. Beautiful. And you guys do the interiors as well at your shop?
No, this was farmed out to, it's called LA Custom Interior in San Antonio. Now it does have a little different, as you can see the shifter in the center, it's actually electronic shifter.
An electronic shifter, tell me about that.
It basically works as, it's real simple. You basically works as a modern day car. You turn the key, you put the brake on, and you go from park, reverse,
You
neutral.
just press the buttons.
Press a button and you're good to go. No shifting on this.
Isn't that interesting?
On it. We try, and that helps us clean up the whole dash
It
area.
gives it a lot more cleaner look.
Yeah.
I like shifting.
Well, this one will give you plenty of that.
It does.
Now you can go into a manual, so
Yeah.
you can actually do a manual shifting as well.
Okay.
So if you want to do that, you can
And
do
it's
that.
all just with your fingers.
Correct.
Isn't that fascinating, everybody? Loving your seats, by the way.
Thank you.
And what is the symbol here I'm looking at?
That's actually the logo for the Ford. That lightning bolt back in the 50s, that was a lightning bolt that you would see on all the Fords. If you look at the Ford logos themselves, it would
Wow.
have that in the center on it. And then
There you go.
back here we have surround sound system.
And you've got surround sound. I do like that. The fuel tank is not there. Where have you put your tank now?
It's in the back. It's using a Mustang 2. I'm sorry, an older Mustang, like 65 through 67 Mustang. It's underneath, and you would actually just turn it, fill it, turn it,
Very neat.
and you would fill it in there, and go from there.
Very nice. And what about the bed? What wood is this?
It's oak.
It's oak.
We went ahead and burnt it, and then sanded it, and then we went ahead and sealed it with sealer, and then we shot it with sealer on it.
Nice. So it's not painted. It's actually burnt
Yeah.
to give it that darker look.
Correct. To get the veins out.
So you get the veins out.
Yeah, so you take a torch and you burn the wood, and it gives it darker.
Now tell me about your shop.
Our shop is basically a small mom and pop shop. There's 3 of us there. This is what we do. It was a hobby, turned into a hobby, and we actually build the F100s there, primarily.
Wow.
'Cause
And
it's
what's
my
the name
passion.
of it?
Cibolo Creek Garage in Marion, Texas. Down there.
Cibolo Creek Garage. There you go. And all you do is you specialize in the F100s.
We've gone to that. We do basic older cars, but we've kind of gotten more into the F100s now. It's because that's mine.
That's
It's
what you
I like.
love. And why? Why do you like them so much?
It's just a unique body style. You don't have a lot of them. The F100's just used to be a regular work truck.
Yeah.
And now it's turned into a passion for many of us.
That's true.
And yeah.
Well, they look so good. To think
They
that
do.
this was just a regular work truck.
Exactly. So now we put a lot of money and time into these things.
Love it.
And they're work of arts, in my opinion.
They definitely are. Thank you so much,
No
Mark.
problem. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, everybody, definitely the 6-cylinder racing engine here caught my attention. Loving the patina. It's man-made patina, which always intrigues me to find out exactly how they get it because it looks pretty good. Bill, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. How are you enjoying yourself at the F100?
Oh, I tell you what, I'm excited. This is actually the second day this has ever been out of my shop. The first day was yesterday. Bringing it up here, this is the first show that this truck's ever been
Well,
at.
congratulations. That's absolutely huge.
Well, I tell you what, I went 52 hours without sleep, so it was a lot of effort to get it up here. and to get it presentable. It's been in the making since 2012.
Okay.
In between that time, I've had a couple deployments to Afghanistan and Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. So during those deployments, I dreamed a lot about what my vision was going to be. And so I wanted to take on kind of a theme of a Carroll Shelby shop truck. What would he have done back in the day?
Well, before we get more into that, thank you for your service for starters.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit more on your background. So you're in the Navy?
Well, by trade, I'm a pharmacist, and I'm a
Okay.
pharmacist in the Navy also. I've always had passions for cars ever since I was 14, 15, and my first vehicle was a 66 Falcon. Before that, I had go-karts. That's why I'm missing part of my finger. You don't see too many pharmacists that are this mechanical.
Yeah.
So
you always knew how to work on cars?
I was poor growing up,
Yeah.
so I had to make things work. A lot of the theme in this truck is a lot of reused, refurbished stuff.
Nice.
I go to pull apart and I go to scrap yards and I think of things that would be cool on this truck. So it's a 306. It has a Tremec TKO 5-speed, Crown Victoria front end, Lincoln Mark 8 rear independent suspension, big brakes, double adjustable coilovers, but a lot of parts that are in here are actually reused, refurbished, and specific for this. A lot of updating to modern kind of era stuff.
Yeah. You know how to make things work, Bill.
Are we live still?
Yes? No.
Yeah.
You know how to make things work.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And you've done this so well. I want to know the exhaust.
Well, this is the intake right here.
The intake, yep.
So yeah, it's aluminum tubing that's been welded with a 45 here, and then I wrapped it with this Kevlar tape that kind of helps for heat. I kind of wanted to get away from the intake and the exhaust are right above each other, so I wanted to try to pull the cool air over here, another performance feature.
Okay. And what is the purpose of that? How does that help the engine?
Cooler air is denser air, so it's more horsepower.
But what is the purpose of having it all the way over there?
Well, because the exhaust is on this side over
I
here,
see.
so there's a lot of heat coming up from
yeah,
here.
okay.
So I'm pulling from the opposite side as far away as I can.
Nice. Very nice. Can we close the hood
Yes,
just
sure.
to get a good look at this? Oh, look at that. Now, you had this patina made.
Yes, I had. The truck was painted in Birmingham by Kingdom Customs, and then they brought in an airbrush person, John Hoover, for Hoover Airbrush, and we used my other truck as kind of the design template as far as where the patina was at to kind of duplicate it onto this.
And you did that well, even here on the bumper.
Yeah, sure. So the top of the bumper is original, and I've been trying for the last couple of years to find some nice patina bumpers, but anybody who has nice patina bumpers, they won't sell them. So I'm like, I had to go ahead and airbrush them myself.
Yeah.
So from here down is airbrushed, and then on the back is another, I did that airbrush as
The
well.
patinas are very popular now. We've all seen them. I like them. It's happening.
So
Very nice.
this truck was a 68 Ranger, which would have full chrome and the stainless on the drip rail and the chrome down the side, the chrome beading here. But I did away with that. I wanted it to be a shaved look or a clean look without that. But the interior is glossy with the full trim.
Nice. Very nice. And is this period correct, the dash?
Pardon me?
Is it period correct, the dash? Or have
Well, that dash is out of an F600, and it was a white one, and I had it chromed, and then I painted the needles blue, and I have a phosphorescent additive to it, so the needles glow in the dark. Went with the Restomod Air, so it's tucked up underneath there. That steering wheel is out of a Jaguar. It's actually a Nardi steering wheel. Paid $5 for it on eBay. They're like $500.
Love it.
Yeah, and I left the varnish to kind of that weathered look. I didn't want it to look new.
Yeah.
And then I have an early 1960s Carroll Shelby 6-cylinder tachometer, which is extremely, try to find one, and then you'll know how rare they are. And that's an original Cobra shift knob.
I was loving that one.
Yeah,
Steve.
and the little button in the middle was weathered on one, and I managed to find another one on eBay. I'm a big marketplace and eBay person for trying to find these things that fit my theme.
Well, it's awesome because when you are so crafty and skilled that you can make anything work,
Yeah.
you can save yourself a lot of money in the long run.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to pay a shop to do what I've done.
Yeah.
So like this is a 1971 through 73 Mach 1 gas cap. So we have a nice finish on the outside that's kind of that racy theme. What I did, however, was that on these trucks they have auxiliary gas tanks, which are typically up here for the early model, and the later 71 through 73 are down here. So I took that cover and put it over top of the tube, which is right here, which gives you a nice factory original clean look.
Oh.
Very
I like
simple.
how you've kept the bed in the same color as well.
Sure, yeah. The bed is on this part here, and on the tailgate is a really smooth finish, like a rhino lining, but out of a paint gun, so it's real fine. I did that because if I ever came to a show and wanted to sit on the tailgate, I wouldn't scratch the
You
paint.
wouldn't scratch it. That's smart.
Yeah, but these four corners and the wheel tubs are just like the outside. There we go. We got our Alabama Quick 6 tag and some more Carroll Shelby.
Quick
stuff.
6 for the 6-cylinder.
Yes.
Very nice. Here's everybody, just have a look at that.
And the satin to make it look kind of maybe old and faded, but definitely a strong.
So tell us about your work with the patina. How were you able to get this? What did you do? Is it just paint only? Or?
Oh yeah, you know, to get something right, you have to have multiple layers. So there's probably 5 layers of different airbrush to get that feature. All the glasses, all the factory car light glass, although the windshield's new and it's tinted and shaded, and all the rest of the glass is tinted as well.
Very cool.
Bucket seats and the carpet, it's just a nice clean, it's kind of a driver's type of enjoyment setup in there.
Nice drive, nice for cruising, yet looks
Sure.
like an absolute classic.
Sure.
That's what we like.
Absolutely.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah,
Bill.
no, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Gotta love the two-tones, and especially when it's been lifted. Very nice. Alright everybody, not only does this look super cool, love it that it's been lifted, and like I said, I love the two-tone. It's broken up with that chrome in the middle, but 3 generations behind this truck. We've got Rich, Grandpa,
Devon,
Devon,
Brent.
and Brent, Dad. 3 generations. Let's first talk about that. We all love the 4 trucks. And is it only 4 trucks, or we just like lifted trucks?
I'd say all 4 trucks.
All 4
These
trucks.
guys are into bumps. I like the slicks because I used to have bumps.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell me about what year is
This one,
Yep.
Brent can tell you best about. He owned this truck 15 or so years ago when he was a baby. So I'd ask Brent.
it? Okay, so you've owned it, you've grown up in it,
No.
and you've built it.
No.
No,
So, okay, we'll start over. Or can you
let's
delete
start
it?
over.
Okay.
Nothing gets deleted. It's
so
fine.
I bought the truck in the early 2000s.
Yep.
And used it as a semi-daily driver for about 2 years. And when my son Devon here, right after he was born, he was only a few days old, I ended up selling the truck because I knew it was going to be a long time before I could ever get to it.
Yep.
So I sold it to a local guy there around where we live. And fast forward like 15 years, Devon decided he wanted to fix up a truck. So we
Wow.
went back to the guy that I sold it to, and he was nice enough to sell back to us. So we sold it, and basically it was a father-son and grandfather project.
I absolutely love that. You all know this. I absolutely love that. You gotta love that sound too. We can't complain about that. And it's a nice color. The fact that you were able to go back and get it 15 years later, I mean, the guy didn't sell it, he could have sold it, he could have done anything to it.
Yeah.
But you found it because Devon was now into trucks, and what better way to start than the truck you were born in, basically. Gotta love it. Okay, so what year is it for starters?
What year? It's a 1970 F250.
70 F250. When you gave it away, before Devon got his hands on it, what was the state of the truck?
It was red. Still had probably 50% original paint on it, but it pretty much needed restored.
It needed to be restored.
Then they switched it from gas to Cummins diesel.
Yeah. Okay. Devon, where does your love of trucks come from? At this time, was there another truck in the family?
Yeah, there was, I guess, 67 short bed,
Okay.
two-wheel drive,
Nice.
70 F100.
But you wanted to have one of your own
Yeah,
to change it around.
yeah.
And Grandpa, how do you fit in all this?
I've always had Ford trucks, especially when I used to do brick masonry work, and they've always been a good truck. I had Bump, and my granddad had a good truck, and I wanted to go to a slick, so I got into a slick, and I still love them all.
All right, let's get into the restoration of this. What did we do, everybody?
So we did everything, all the paint work we did ourselves, everything other than the windshield and fuel pump. Put the 12 valve Cummins with a 5-speed get drag. It was factory high boy,
And what was the original motor?
360.
360. And why did you choose the Cummins?
More just reliability and just wanted to drive it.
Yep, just wanted to drive it. And you had to lift it.
What's that?
You had to lift the truck.
It's leveled in the front, but everything else is stock height.
Everything else is stock height. Then
Yep.
why did I think that this is lifted? Let's have a look here.
Yeah, the front's lifted 3 inches. It's just leveled with the back.
Okay, the front is lifted. You know, this is so awesome. You've actually painted this yourself. Paint is usually the thing that goes out to the shop.
Right. These boys done it all.
You've done everything.
Mechanically, they didn't rebuild the engine, but he got a hold of an 89 Dodge truck with a Cummins in it. And then Brent and Devon took her down to more or less bare metal, and Brent's painted it.
Brent, this is a great job.
Thank you.
What's your background? How do you know how to paint so well?
Just from tinkering around with it in my house garage.
Okay.
Yep. Just always tinkering with pretty much everything with vehicles, from mechanics to the body work to the suspension work.
You're very lucky.
He's very
It would have
good.
cost you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Very nice. You've kept the fuel tank in the back of the seat.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that a lot more these days with the classic trucks, where a lot of people like to move the tank around, and I
Yeah.
thought, that's awesome, because personally, I've said that it makes me feel safer not to have the
Exactly.
tank behind me. But as Greg mentioned at the C10 Nationals, it's kind of safer as well because you've got the entire bed
Right,
if
right.
something was to happen. So
Yes. But it's crazy how they come from the factory, behind the seat like that.
So if they thought it was safe then.
Like my guys now, they move into behind the frame.
All right, Devon, why don't you show me the inside?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is nice.
It's got the F600 cluster, and
Okay, what's happening here with the two shifters?
so one's for the transmission and one for the transfer case for the four-wheel drive.
Okay, you'll have to educate me. I'm learning about cars. What does that do?
So the one's for the transmission for
Okay.
everyday driving, and then
Every day, yeah.
Yep, and then the littler one there is for the divorce transfer case.
So what does that mean?
So it's separate compared to the regular transmission. Like the newer cars have
The ones that have got auto and manual.
Yeah, you can get a newer truck with a manual transmission, but it has the transfer case. It's together with the transmission. This one's divorced. It has a little drive shaft in between the transmission and the transfer case.
Okay, wow, look at that. So I'm guessing you learned how to drive in this truck.
No,
No.
no.
Because you were 15 when you wanted to get this.
Yeah, 14.
14.
Yeah. And it took us 3 years to restore it, so I was already driving.
So you're already driving. Okay. And what is it about the trucks that you like so much?
I don't know. Probably the Cummins.
And just being able just to drive and
Yeah, we drove it down from Pennsylvania.
all the way from Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
They're reliable, aren't they?
yeah. We got almost 19 miles a gallon.
Wow. Very cool. Absolutely love it. And it's a Sport Custom 1970. Thank you so much. All right, so we just saw Devon's 1970. Nice and lifted, just the perfect height, not too high, not too low. And now we're looking at Grandpa's 65 Ford truck. Rich, it's very nice. How long have you had yours for?
Since the winter of 19.
Okay.
Always wanted to get something to retire with, so we got it. It was kind of a needed paint work.
Okay.
The motor was done. We just went through it, fixed the leaks, put another rear end in it, and then Brent, my son, he painted for me.
And Brent, you painted this one as well?
Yes. Yep. We
Wow.
painted. Yep. Basically painted pretty much the same time as we painted Devon's.
You've got the whole painting thing down pat, haven't
Yes.
you?
Not quite, but getting close. Yeah, getting close.
Oh, it's very good. I mean, it's a very hard job. And what was the state of the 65 when you first got it? How bad was it?
Bad, definitely need paint. It was all different. It was multicolored.
How fun for you?
Need a headliner. We just the engine. We didn't get into the inside of the engine. We took it. The other guy had it rebuilt, so we just tore it all apart, repainted it. I wanted the old school valve covers on, like the early '60s. And
What is the engine I'm looking at?
the engine is 390 cubic inch.
Okay.
So that was that. Then it had a real low rear end in it. We changed that out, put a taller gear in it to make it ride the interstate better. I just wanted a cruising vehicle. I didn't want a race truck.
It looks so good. The whole engine compartment. You haven't hidden things, but at the same time, it's still very neat.
Yes.
And I like that you've covered the battery.
That's good.
It still looks good, and it's still there. You didn't have to go through so much of covering and hiding and
Right.
welding different things, but it still looks
Grant, my
nice.
son, he's very good at that, the wiring, paint work. He's very good at making it neat
Yep.
or hidden. And so that's who I leaned on, was the son and grandson, to get things done.
Now, the grill here, you said it's a 66.
Yes, I could not get I guess I could have had the old 65 grill replated, but this was just, to me, easier and faster because they fit. That's the only difference in the years is the grill.
And I like the wheels. Look at that. Let's have a look on the inside. Now, Rich, what were you telling me about the bucket
The
seats?
bucket seats, I think that was a big option back in them years in the 60s for bucket seats. Made a nice option. They used the Mustang seat. And like I said before, big options for back in the 60s was like armrest and just the radio. And
These
this-
were luxuries at the
Yes,
time.
this was big luxury stuff. And a console and probably carpet. That was big luxury item to
Okay,
order.
I'll let you open it if you want, and I can come in from here. Very nice. And this is exactly how it would have been in 65?
Yes.
I always like looking at the different dashes. And, oh, the headliner looks good now, doesn't it?
Yeah, we just put that in before we come down.
Oh, did you? Okay, looks good.
Yep, thank you.
And they actually had the bucket seats.
Yeah,
in
that was a
65.
big option
Isn't that
for 'em.
different?
They consider that too a custom cab.
Okay.
So,
I personally like the bench seats, but they
Yeah.
still look good. And
yeah, it's really more usable to have a bench seat, but of course that's cooler to have the buckets.
usually when you think of a classic truck, you think of the bench seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what Brent wanted me to keep. It's just, that's so cool to have them bucket seats in there if that's come in that addition on that
Yeah.
truck. So we
And you've restored everything back to period correct. You haven't put any
tried to. The only
customs.
thing newer is that Tech carburetor system. It's considered a fuel injection unit. So
Nice. Definitely a Ford family. They look so good next to one another, and you're here with the whole family.
Yeah. Oh, my other son. I got another son. He's not here.
Yeah.
He's not a so-called gearhead like us guys, but that's good too. That's fine.
Like they say, you know, five fingers of one hand are never the same.
And what's crazy, we come down here 25 years ago.
Yep.
Brent was a little younger than Devon is now. Brent was like 13, 14 years old. He got the fever then. We called it then.
And now Devon's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Devon, what other kind of cars do you like besides the trucks?
I don't know. Pretty much into the trucks.
Pretty much into the trucks. And how did you enjoy yourself building the truck and helping build it?
How did I enjoy it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was good. Wasn't quite into the paint work.
No, but would you do another one again?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. We want to get the younger generation involved and keep this car culture alive. 3 generations right here, and that's what it speaks of. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.